Hi, and welcome to Dax Chats. In this episode, I'm speaking to a lovely lady from Australia who has had a stellar career that goes all the way back a number of years. We won't say how many. She's just brought out her recent album. It's called Four, and the singles off it are The Ocean, I'm Happier, Nervous Girls, and there's a brand new single that's just been released. It's the Sean Colvin classic, Sunny Came Home. Today, Dax chats to Australian country music artist Bec Lavelle, and here she is. G'day, Bec.
How are you, my friend? It's lovely to be here.
I'm doing well. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it is. It wasn't too long ago because you had your amazing awards, your inaugural awards,
and you became a female artist of the year.
I'm still so honoured. It was a lovely group of people to be amongst, and thanks again for that amazing honour. It was awesome.
I think, for me, I think doing that was just a gesture because it's been such a hard year, and we had that. We had the news that Tamworth was cancelled, and it just felt like everything was falling apart in the industry. And I mean, it's been great that you guys have been putting content together and keeping the music flowing, and so I just wanted to thank everybody for the hard work they've done.
Oh, well, it was very appreciated because I think at one stage there, a lot of us were lost. There was a month or two where we were all just like, how do we do this? And then time kind of, we're very flexible. I think musicians in particular in country music, we're flexible and adaptable. And, if something kind of just, closes in front of us, we find a window or a crack or somewhere. So I'm incredibly proud of the community that we have here, and just how hard we've all been working to keep that content coming out, sort of even to the point of doing like Hayley Marston and the girls that did True Blue, and even myself, we've done content just on our iPhones, for video clips and stuff. And people understand that, in order to keep getting content produced, it's not going to be a $10,000 film clip, but at the same time, I think people are appreciative that like, wow, they did that in lockdown. Holy hell. So I think the thought process has changed, that, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's amazing if it can keep coming out. So very proud of everyone.
There's a number of artists that have actually come out recently because they can't actually do their film clips as they'd wanted to because of social distancing and lockdown laws and all that. There's a number of artists that have actually gone into doing animated film clips. Sandy Facey, Haley Jensen, Benny Allen. They've all come out with animated film clips, which is very good.
Yeah, and it uses that other sort of creative outlet. There's plenty of illustrators also at home who may have lost sort of work. So I think the creative community have been very just, flying off the seat of their pants type of thing, trying new things. It may not work, it may not be the best product, but at the same time, I think people are just open to just anything at the moment, and it's amazing what we can do when we're pushed to the limit.
And it's been amazing because I've touched on this many times before, that because of our inability to go out and perform live, we've had this immense time where we could actually collaborate, which we've never been able to do much before. So the collaborations have been absolutely beautiful that have been coming out.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, like I did a Nervous Girls single a couple of months back with the girls, and out of the couple of us that did it, I was only one of two of us who had actually ever collaborated. So it was amazing to sort of hear, Caitlin Thomas and Jem Cassadaley, they actually hadn't ever really done much collaboration. So, it's just nice to, again, just push that kind of, I've never done this before, but let's do it because there's no other option. And I think, now that we've done that, they've gone on to actually collaborate with other people, because it's just, you're here in your Ugg boots if you want to be. There's a lot less prep to have to get onto a Zoom call with someone. And thank God for technology, because it really, I mean, if this was 20 years ago, I don't know where we all be. I truly don't. But, 2020... Right. So I'm very grateful, again, just trying to find it, always trying to find a positive spin on things that work with the technology, talk to your friends, my band's in Germany, mixers in Brazil. So you just kind of have to make it work. If you want to make it work, it can happen.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
same for me. Obviously, I'm not one that's ever been a collaborator as well. So when I started writing my songs, it was all self-written,
Yeah.
and then, to come sort of before COVID, it was 2019. I did my song "The Whiskey" but I collaborated with Troy Kemp. But it was just sort of, I just sort of threw it at him and said, what do you think about this? And then he made some slight changes and said, oh, you could try this and try this and try this. And so,
Yeah.
that worked well together. And then COVID happened, and I've been collaborating with heaps of people. I got a new song that's coming out on somebody else's album this year. I've got
Oh, well done.
that was produced by Bill Chambers. I've got a new song that I've just written with Glenn Bidmead that's in the pipelines. I've got
Look at you go.
I've got another.
We're going to show 2020. We're going to show 2020 because I'm determined. It was a shitty sort of first 6 months, but then I'm just like, nah, look, I can still bring an album out in the pandemic. So I'll take you 2020.
And even when it comes, like I've just secured a new single. I didn't write it, but I just love it. And we're actually looking at producing it in a, obviously I'm in China, so it's like, where do you produce it? It looks like we might be producing it in Canada. So there
amazing.
Yeah,
and just being able to talk to each other as well. You've been supporting all of our artists, through this whole pandemic. And if we didn't have the technology, we wouldn't be talking right now. So,
exactly.
Thank you again for your amazing support. It's been amazing.
No problem. So let's talk about, obviously the album's come out you've had some great singles off the album, as I said at the beginning. The new single is a cover song. It is a classic cover song. Sean Colvin's "Sonny Came Home." Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to show how old I am, but yes, I was high school, sort of 16, 17 when it came out, and I just knew from very early stages of hearing it, it was just this storytelling, the instrumentation, and I still to this day, that the Mando starts and it's just like, oh my. I feel the same way about like Wonderwall by Oasis. I will never get sick of that song. And so Sonny Came Home. For very many years, I was like, I'd love to cover that, but you can't because it's Sean Colvin's "Sonny Came Home." And I think at this stage, 20, 25 years later, it was not that I wanted to attempt to better it. It's literally, I loved it so much and wanted to, pay homage to her and that track. And I mean, it's still to this day very relevant. And yeah, so I think I've just put my 2020 Bec Lavelle spin on it, hopefully, and done it justice. But it was very lovely because the guys, my German band, my studio band, they had never heard it. They weren't even born when it came out.
Yep.
So, Nana Lavelle here plays the song for them only once. I played it for them once and gave them a vibe, and they went, okay, now go and do what you do. And that's what they came up with. So we were picking at, open piano strings and hammers and to get those sort of intro sounds and the layered harmonies with Andre. And I'm really, really happy with how it came out.
Now, as you just said, your band's in Germany. You're the person who mixes and masters the stuff is in Brazil. It's a whole worldwide organization you've got going here.
It really is. And it's lovely because obviously in Australia, you would normally pre-COVID, go into a studio, have your, however long you want to do in a studio. You could do 2 hours, you could do 23 hours. You'd all sort of go there and then you'd all go home and go to bed. Whereas I do my bit here. I pass it on over to Brazil. Brazil does their bit. Or if I'm, sending it back to Germany for a bit of an edit, you wake up and it's already done and then they're asleep and you do your bit. So it's this constant sort of 24-hour rotation of just work getting done. So it actually gets done. You would not think that it would happen quicker than if you were, I guess, all here together. But it really kind of does. Everyone gets in and does their little bit while everyone else is sleeping on the other side of the world.
That's awesome. As I said, I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to be producing a song in Canada. So that's like 13 hours difference. Absolutely.
Beautiful. You take a snooze and they're over there working hard and then they, say good night and then off you go.
That's it.
So it works well. I can recommend it.
I'm going to do that. That's good. what's coming? I mean, how's the album been doing? It's as I said, it's a great album, quite successful
Thank
album.
you.
And
Thank you. Yeah, we hit as high as number 7 on the singer-songwriter charts on iTunes. So I had never charted an album before that. I don't look at them. It doesn't really concern me. I don't make music to chart. But when you do, when you bring out, the work of your passionate kind of, creativeness, and it does, that's shocking. Like, I didn't expect that whatsoever, but it's so lovely. And again, just that international audience, everyone's just really relating, and I love it because everyone's relating to something different. There's a different track, so it's not just like, oh, that's the one song that came out with that, it was your best single, and then that's the hit song. There's a different song for every person and all these different circumstances, and just so much lovely feedback. And it's lovely because I've had 3 really lovely albums. I'm very proud of them, but this was the one where I've co-produced. I've just been involved, blood, sweat and tears from, 2 years ago. And I just feel like it's just me. Like it is Bec in an album. The rest, it's like there are bits and pieces, and, time moves on, and they're lovely postcards of those times in my life. But this one is just, I'm just so proud of it. And to again have brought it out in a pandemic, it'll go down as one that I won't forget very soon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, anything that gets brought out in this pandemic should never be forgotten.
Seriously. We all need to just like, hello.
On the back, thanks Dax Chats. Good.
Yeah, thanks Dax Chats. Thanks for Red Bull Music, Red Rebel, and it was also nice to have MGM come on board for this one as well. It's really lovely. So just getting it out to the world. Yeah.
So I should ask, what's next? Where do we go? Do you see album number 5 happening?
Oh Lordy, yeah. Eventually, I'm not putting any, because also with 4, it was never like I have to have an album come out soon. It also just organically came about. I think realistically, I've been asked for many, 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 many years now to do something Christmassy. So I'm feeling a vibe for a 2021 kind of just a Christmas EP. It's not a full album. I'm not going to, do Bublé, because Bublé is Bublé. I'm already got him, defrosting as we speak. I'm very Christmassy, but just a little EP, maybe write an original Christmas track to put on there, or just, just to put my spin on Christmas. But apart from that, I don't know. A lot of people are going to get out automatically when we can, to start playing for fans and audiences again. But I actually think there's been an incredible support, more than normal, from community radio in particular around Australia. So I would just as be happy. I think we mentioned it the other night when we were talking about the awards. I would just love to just hop in a Tarago or something with a couple of, Angus Gill said he's on board. And I just think we just go from radio station to radio station and do some in studio spots, and to sort of just to give back to those guys, and just to say thank you for kind of honestly being there through the whole pandemic, still interviewing and still pushing and supporting all of their, these artists. So you could of course throw in some live gigs along the way. You're going to be in towns anyway, but I just thought sometime along the way in the near future, I'd love to just go out and sort of give back a little bit and thank the community radio stations for all they've been doing. Yeah,
that's great. Well, it's a long trip to China, but you're going to have to come over.
Yeah.
Visit the
look, studio. I don't know when we're going to get there. I like, you got an appointment in 2024. I don't know.
Well, that's we just don't know when international travel is going to be back to the way it was.
And I said the other day, to be completely honest, I'm not going to be the first one lined up with a suitcase. I'm going to want to see 6 months of guinea pigs going first, because then you're going to get stuck over somewhere because it'll all fall apart again, or you'll be quarantined when you're back. So I'll just really happily just watching for 6 months until
Well, I'm waiting until the quarantine hotels are all gone before I go in, because I just don't get that. I get that. I get the reason why they did it, but because people can't self-isolate, they just want to go and do their own thing.
People are just selfish.
So I get why they did it, but it just became a breeding ground for the virus, and so I'm just not into being tucked away for 14 days in somewhere where I could possibly get the virus.
It was very close to home even today, you know, I think there were 2 or 3 people found in quarantine in here in Queensland. So
Yeah.
it's still around. So we've got to be cautious. Wash those hands, people.
Wash those hands and don't shake them. Don't hug. No kissing.
No hugs, kissing, just an elbow. I'll give you an elbow.
I don't even get that elbow bump because you're closer to the person. You know, if you put stretch.
Well, and they're suggesting to cough into your elbow and then elbow bump people. It's like, hey, you know, hi, how you going? Honestly, just stay away from people. It's just easier.
Yeah, that's it. Just talk on Zoom. That's it.
Yeah, see? Perfect.
Well,
social distancing at its best.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to whatever's coming for you. You know,
Thank
if you've
you,
got
my
any new
friend.
singles coming, or you've got obviously a Christmas album coming, that would be great. So thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you.
And I always
absolute pleasure, always.
No worries. All right. Well, you have a great evening where you are, and
thank you. You too.
No problem. All right. Chat to you later.
Bye.
All right, that was Bec Lavelle, and her brand new single is called Sunny Came Home, which is the Sean Colvin classic. It is on her latest album, which is entitled 4. You can get it on all your major streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. You can download it from iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, all those wonderful places. Or what's more, you can listen to it on the Country Thunder Network. Just go to our website, which is up there, countrythunder.com.au, and you can request it straight from the player. What's more, you can vote for it in the Country Thunder 20. Just hit the Vote Now button and go and fill in your little form, and away you go. This has been DJ Dax. You've been watching Dax Chats. Until next time, bye for now.